Hey, folks. Oh, look at that light. Holy hell. I'm Tommy, and you're on the boat. Carry on. How are you, Brucey? Good to see you. Shelly Kelly, how are you? Chris Melinda, always a pleasure. Uh, Always a pleasure. Miss Sunrise Dawn, good to see you. Glad you're here. Uh, this is not going to be a long lifeboat for a whole host of reasons. But the chief among them is I got a good email from someone and was reading it, and actually, I made a comment, but I got to the very end of the comment. And they said, if you read this long, because it was a pretty long one, the payoff was you need to make sure that you're recharging your batteries. And truthfully, I'm probably not. Always just a song before I go. Layla Bradley, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Chrissy Never Newton, good to see you. Barbie, what's up? It's G, good to see you. Gemini Girl 6'5", thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Katie Fulton, good to see you. Oh, of course. It was fun to shout out Matt. We hope to see more of him. Right? We really hope to see more of him. People, I'll take thoughts and prayers too. Be honest, I'll take some thoughts and prayers. Yes, I'm leaving Bug Tussle tomorrow. I leave. So Hamster Heifer, good to see you. Tomorrow I take off. So I will. I don't know whether or not I'll be back in time to do a boat tomorrow night. More than likely, I will pull off a boat tomorrow night. And if I don't, Spanx will. So it'll be up one way or the other because we have all kinds. Hey, why be normal? Because we have all kinds of head start on this thing, which is a good thing. Scooby-Doo Jam Jam. Good evening. I'll take the ones. Thank you so much, Scooby-Doo. I appreciate you. West Coast Fancy Nancy, good to see you. Cooler by the lake. Yeah, I hope it's just I hope it's a really uneventful trip. I have assigned seating. I got seats on the aisle. I have a lot going for me. This could be a good travel day. But I'm this is probably advice to everybody too, right? This is probably not just me talking to myself, but probably talking to everybody else as well. I would recommend, right? We obviously catching as much sleep as you can. All of those things are fairly important, right? Truthfully. But if you're an addict and if you're starting to age, if you're maybe starting to decline a little bit, it's not Southwest, thank God. It's not. I'm flying American. I really feel like you got to be a lot more careful about things like sleep, and you got to be a lot more careful about things like nutrition, because I think when it goes bad fast. The aviation gods summon me every time you're going to fly. Past shaming, that's no joke. It's starting to feel a bit like a conspiracy. You really only show up when I'm getting ready to fly. Somebody here talking to you? Lori Abs, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Hey, Mary. Hydrate. It's very funny that you say that because I also am about 100% sure I'm dehydrated right now. But that occurred to me before I went live, and I did. Sleep is my old enemy, insomnia since infancy. Oh, Castro, I'm so sorry. I really am. Morpheus is not your friend. The god of sleep is not your friend. Yeah, probably me either much. I've been doing really well. I mean, I really have. I've been sleeping so well. And then 2 nights ago, it just stopped. And the last night I slept, I got to sleep last night. And then, yes, I'm going to sing for you. I promise, Angie. Stick around. I will be singing. Hey, Joni Palmer, good to see you. I'm glad that you're live. I'm glad that you caught me. This is a fortuitous. I'm glad. Post-flight catch up. Am I doing okay? You know, I am. Normally the gummies. So the 2 nights ago, the first night that I didn't sleep, the gummies didn't work. Full disclosure, the second night that I didn't sleep, I didn't take the gummies. I don't like a buzz. And if I'm going to be awake and I take a gummy that I can't sleep, then I'm just stoned for 6 hours. And that's, I can't journal. I can't do much of anything. My brain's not worth a fart. And that's not optimum for me. So last night, Peanut, yeah, I wasn't firing on all cylinders last night, and I am worse tonight by a long stretch than I was last night. So for that reason, hello, dangerous journeyman, good to see you. For that reason, this is going to be a really short boat. I'm not going to travel really, really tired. God forbid. I don't know how much, I don't know if it's going to be another night of tossing and turning or not being able to. I'm going to Arizona, passenger shaming. So, pain somnia. Oh, no, that's worse. You like baking when you don't sleep. Oh, I love that. Yes, there's Moosey. He's a good kid. Hey, Russ, good to see you. Truthfully, and honestly, I think that part of it is I start getting bummed out when I get close to leaving. And uh and I'm not saying that it's like I'm sitting here rocking back and forth thinking, "Oh crap, I don't want to leave." It's not that kind of a situation, but it is a kind of situation where when I start getting close to the time that I have to depart, I think bad things start happening with the dome. I'm not solid mentally like I used to be. I really am not, and that's kind of a bummer, you know? It's and the realization that I'm not, you know what I mean? The realization that I'm not controlling myself as well as I'd like to is a bummer. And I don't mean, yeah, it's a I just I don't like feeling like I'm not in control at all times. And sadly, as addicts, we're really never in control, right? We're always just sort of playing the game. But yeah, hey Candy Vice, good to see you. But my temper's been short, and that's a really bad sign for me. It's not a good thing. It is an awful feeling. Hey Amy Edge, good to see you. You have the C plus math. I'm so sorry to hear. My God, says I'm tired of getting sick. I bet. Hey Lisa, good to see you. Hell hath no fury. Good to see you. Jason P. Jason says, Amy, I hope you're feeling better. I do as well. WP, good to see you. So, uh, hey, Tommy Bird, good to see you. The bad news is I'm going to be leaving Hux and Quibsy and all of the furry kids around here. Come here, Moosey. Come here, buddy. And all of my furry friends. The good news is I will be heading to go see Squirrel Nut Zipper and my son, and that's always a good time. Get up here. Come on. We're going to show you off. Come on. Don't be such a cat. He refuses to hop up because that would just be non-cat like. You know what I mean? He needs everybody to know that he's a cat. And as a cat, he is in control. Oh no, what happened, Malaki? I'm suffering from insomnia. And this is not the thing with insomnia. I had it for a really long time and then I got it beat, right? I've had it licked for years. Is Moose going to Arizona? Not this time. Moose is getting a stay of execution from leaving the house. There's been some talk about it, but Quibsy, in her wisdom, has decided to give the kitties a little bit more time together to see if they acclimate. I am traveling on Labor Day. What could possibly go wrong? um, insomnia can be pretty gnarly. Here's the one good thing about my insomnia, passenger shaming, and the rest of you. The one good thing about me and insomnia is that I have spent a huge amount of my life suffering from insomnia. Now, again, it went away for a long time, but I am pretty good, right, at not going to dark places in my head when I don't sleep. I screwed up a couple of nights and went to some pretty dark places. I know. Yeah, the older we get, the less sleep we get. It's the truth. Rancid tofu goat ball substitute. Wow. Insomnia sucks rancid tofu goat balls substitute. Love it. That's pretty foul. That really is. Peanut, good to see you. DS Kitty. Oh, the gallon of milk. Was that something or what? Diane was checking out some of the back videos. Yeah. The back videos were where we did the milk. Um, Honestly, that's the greatest vomit in the history If you're not into it, don't watch. But it is the greatest hurl in the history of all of YouTube. There's this just disgusting sound that gets made, and you watch a gallon of milk come back out in about 2 seconds. It's fairly entertaining. If you if those kind of things make you laugh, then it really will make you laugh. Yeah, Sarah Barrett. And here's the thing: as far as having a lot on my mind. Oh, thank you. We can do this. What a beautiful thing to say. I really appreciate that. Said I haven't been on this site for a while, but I never left. You have my heart, and I wish you the best, my friend. Thank you. I will. I'll get to sleep. I know I will get to sleep at some point. Right? It's going to happen, and I really hope that it's going to happen tonight. Oh wow. Oh wow. Tommy, I feel for you. Hubby didn't retire for the first 7 years we moved to South Africa. He was there 10 days a month, the rest in Sweden. Oh wow, that's tough. On the bright side, my stays here are long, and they're they're getting longer. It's Yeah. We have a good situation. We really do. And I think that, the whole absence makes the heart grow strong. I think one of the things that happens is that when we're apart, we tend to think an awful lot about the what we miss the most, right? And it almost causes you to focus on the things about your mate that you find the most attractive, right? And I don't mean physically attractive. I mean, the attributes I'm talking about. Although the physical stuff too. But you start to really think about, why that is your person. And sometimes I don't think you do that when you're with somebody full time, right? You don't get time to reflect. It's kind of an interesting experiment, sort of. Horton Thistle says, Tommy, I've been working on my anger and insomnia too. We dumper the camp trailer potty water. The valve broke and it spilled over my, oh no, flip flops. I said, golly, and hosed it off. Victory. Good God, you're a stud. Here's the thing. Here's my problem. Honestly, my problem is, hey, Jeremy Shelton, good to see you. You were missed. Here's my problem. Honestly, my problem is that I will I will go off. I'll be working on something and no one will be there or whatever. And maybe I go off. Maybe I scream. Maybe I yell. I don't know. There's nobody there. I have no memories of doing any of these things. But occasionally I will do it around someone. Right. And then, it will be brought up to me. And it's a frightening thing because I don't, and it's not, grabbing a weapon kind of, but it's the inability to control and I've never suffered from it in my life. I've never, and it's frustrating that now that I'm sober, I'm going to become an idiot, right? Like it really wasn't that much of an issue. Now I'm sober and I've got life together, and my brain's gonna fall apart. It's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to going back and playing with Squirrel Nut Zipper and getting everything in order. Sold some watches. I need to go and package up. The that seems to be bouncing back, which is kind of cool. Control is a false sense of security. You know what? It is for a lot of people. But I will say this. When I talk about control, right? When I talk about being in control of my emotions, I don't mean I don't get angry. I don't mean I don't get sad. I don't get depressed. I don't get elated. I don't get all of the normal emotions. I'm aware of them when they're happening, right? I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm getting pissed off. We're going to get angry in life. You're supposed to get angry, right? We're built that way. We absolutely have the ability, hardwired in us to get angry. Where I have a problem is when the anger starts without me making a decision for the anger to start. I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? That's just not a not a it's not a comfortable thing. Yeah. So I will be working on it. Jive talking. Yeah. Jive talking. Uh Jerry Sheldon says, not true. Control is key. When you control the mail, you control the information. Well played. Well played, Jeremy Sheldon. It's all about controlling the mail. Have I read Flowers for Algernon? Yes, I have. Yep, I sure have. Jeremy Shelton, boo. Yes. Boo this man. Shannon C says, today was a tough day and I've just felt so alone with tough depression and anxiety. I'm working on it and trying to get on the right meds and get a little better. You got to talk to your doctors. Listen, if you're in the process of, I'm not doing well right now, right? I'm having some issues with sleep and some mental stuff. Um, Normally, we don't want to journal when things are bad. If you don't journal now, how do you talk to your therapist? Well, I was really jacked up for the last 3 days. What happened? I don't know. It was shitty though. It was real bad. It's not a lot to go on. You know what I mean? Not a lot to go on. Yeah, exactly. Dangerous Journeyman says anger, sure. Rage, no. Yeah. Or, again, if you find yourself going into rage, have it be a situation where you plan it. In other words, I'm sorry, over 13 years, there were a couple of times in prison where if you couldn't muster up a little rage, you were probably going to be in some trouble, right? But be aware of it. Don't have it, don't have it jumping from 1 to 6 without being aware. Robert, yeah, Brick is the name of the company. Brick. Oops, sorry. And it's their sleep product and it's 30 to 15 indica, usually Granddaddy Purps, but they use a bunch of different strains. So THC 30 milligrams and CBN 15 milligrams. Yeah, and if you can't find them, Robert, send me an email and write gummies in the subject line, and I will send you a link or something along those lines. Care Bear Gratitude says, I would say control is self-awareness for me. There you go. I think you just said that a lot better than I did, but that's kind of what I was shooting for. Muffet Lou, have a good night lurking. You don't need to see you before you leave. Well, thank you, Muffet. I probably will go live from one of the airports. I usually do that at least once. DNV, I couldn't tell you exactly what day the cruise is, but I'm pretty wide open to seeing Quibs every chance I get. So I'm not exactly sure, but I'd have to talk to her. Yeah, passenger shaming. Yeah, exactly. The fact that I'm writing in the journals is usually a good sign, right? If I stop journaling, it's over. I'm so far off the rails that I probably can't get back. Right? For me, journaling is the key to everything. Yeah, exactly. Writing things down. Good idea. What are the triggers? Well, here's the incredible thing, Laura Lou. I don't know what the triggers are. It it seems to I don't know. Honestly, it seems to come out of left field, and it doesn't seem to. It never fits the situation. It's a very odd thing. It really is. Hey, Guacaholic. Wow, you used to only journal when things were bad. Shannon's. I promise you, Shannon. See, it really does help. Ah, thank you, Peanuts. The Insomnia Fund. I'll take it. You like the hat? It's not a bad look, is it? Let's start a cult. A benevolent one. Yeah, that's there's something very funny about the if you have F Frederick. Ah, really? I need the no, I don't know that cartoon cat. I don't. My favorite cartoon cat, this is probably really appropriate for the lifeboat, but my favorite cartoon cat was always Bill the cat. Bill's in recovery. He had a bit of a cocaine problem, but he was a good cat. Hold on one second. Cricket, can we get some friends? I mean, some prayers for Cricket's friends because one of them is a crew member. I know who you're talking about, and we'd like some. And you know what? I promise you. It doesn't matter which God you're praying to. I promise you, he's got it together enough to know who you're talking about. Yeah, you know what? Shannon C, you got to continue. It sucks. I've been there, done shows about this. Been there, done that. It sucks. And it's you feel like don't don't get into the trap of going, I fired 3 of these people. It's me. It's not them, it's me. There's something wrong with me. No, there isn't. You have to click with someone. Chris, the therapist I have now, who I will have until she retires. I promise I'll never get another therapist till she quits. I'll never get another therapist. But I think it was 7 or 8 before I found Chris. That's the spirit. You, a couple of the fellows are going to swing by and tuck me in. Rush, you're the best. You're the best. Anger is normal. Getting angry is okay. Acting out of that anger is not always okay. True, right? Now, look, I agree with this. I agree with this, right? But if let's say I'm working on a watch or whatever, and the anger from what I'm working on, there's nobody around, I'm not directing it at anyone, but if it's making me grind my teeth, right? That's not healthy. It's not. And I've never been that person, right? I've never been that person. I've never been that person in the worst of times. It's just I just need a little a little therapy. And sadly, I probably need to get my dome looked at one more time as well, because that's always a possibility. Relaxium. Wait a second. Relaxium, is that Dr. Eric Siliberte's product? If it is, I'm familiar with it. If that's the one, I feel like Relaxium might be Dr. Siliberte. And yeah, I've tried a lot of them, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. Good to see you. Olivia. Well, I'm gonna try to relax a little bit. I really am. Passenger shaming. Yeah, passenger shaming says sometimes I feel like I'm stagnant. Um, and then I think about how I was a month prior, and I see the improvement. Once again, super important to be taking stuff and writing it down. I I can go back and look at journals that I wrote 7 years ago, right? And you don't even have to read, you just have to listen to the words that I use to see how much I've changed in 7 years, right? Because 7 years ago I was in, and there was a lot of F bombs in what I journal, right? There was a lot of really, really colorful language in my journaling, because it's what I listen to every day. Jill Judd, I'm sorry, I'm flying tomorrow. I didn't mean to scare you. Just Joan, good to see you. Just a song before I go, to whom it may concern. DNV, what a lovely thing to say. That really is. That Quibs and I are the picture of love. It's a beautiful thing to say. I'm very fond of her. I don't think you can imagine how much. Doing a flyby? Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Insights. Appreciate you doing the flyby. I really do. That's very kind. Yeah, see that? Kristen Melinda's a pro. And I mean that in the best sense of the word. And she says, can confirm therapeutic rapport, fancy way of saying that you click with them, is incredibly important. It is to me. I promise you, it is to me. Um, I just do not feel like, oh, Toonces the driving cat was great. I'm sorry. I don't feel like I can sit and open up to somebody if, as I start to talk to them, I feel like they're judging me. Or I feel like, if you just, the first time you get that vibe, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work, right? This just isn't going to work. And I'll tell you something. If you're a professional, if I told you some of the things that my therapist said in the first 2 sessions that I met with, they would probably go, oh, that's not very professional. But I think she reads the room better than anybody. I was talking about a particular therapist who I thought was a jackass, and I was very angry and ready to basically leave the building over it. And when I brought the person's name up, she went, Yeah, yeah, he's kind of a jackass. Right? I was like, what? She's like, yeah, the guy really is. I've worked with him for a long time. She goes, I guarantee he'll be fired soon. He's an ass. Wow. Now she had my attention. Hold on one second. Wow, Jamie Palmer. Epiphany days are the most beautiful things in the world. My girlfriend would say a cognition, right? But those days where you get something that the light bulb goes on and you start feeling like, hey, how cool is that? Uh, Jamie Palmer said, I had an epiphany today. Well, not really an epiphany as much as it was an admission to myself. I'm still angry at my toxic ex-friend, but more than that, I'm angry at myself. Okay, that's 2 days worth of journaling, right? Really is. So why are you angry at yourself? Write down why you are angry at yourself and explore the hell out of that, because one of two things will happen. It's legit or it's not. And I don't know about you, but when I write things down that aren't legit, they slap me in the face and tell me I'm an idiot, right? I can sit and BS myself in my head. But as I start writing that down on paper, the melding of the two different parts of my mind that are required to actually write that down on paper go, oh, no, you know, yeah, you're full of crap. Right? Lie to someone else. Don't lie to the journal. And I don't. Hey, Arwell, good to see you. Felix was a great cat too. You have Relaxium and it did nothing. Well, there you go. So Heathcliff was cool. You're a Tabby fan. Fair enough. Heathcliff was cool. Garfield was great. But I'm sorry, man. It's really hard to beat Bill the Cat, who at one point did run for president. I think he might have actually been elected. Oh, Tiffanyisms. Wow. My husband has a severe REM sleep disorder. Some nights I get no sleep because of it, and both of us will be miserable the next day. Sometimes punches or kicks me in his sleep. Thinks I'm a spider. With all due respect, if I think you're a spider, I'm going to punch or kick you too. I don't like anything with 8 legs. Kind of a thing with me. I really don't like crap with 8 legs. How many days to wean off benzos? I can't answer that question, right? You would have to talk to a medical professional because it greatly depends on things like what benzo have you been taking, right? If you're taking something like Valium, right, or something like Xanax, it's going to be a lot different than if you're taking something like Klonopin or flunitrazepam or something that's got a whole lot of punch, right? So it really depends on what you're taking, how long you've been taking it. So the best thing to do, never quit a benzo without talking to a doctor and getting a plan to help medically take you off of it, because you cannot quit cold turkey. Hope everybody heard that. Same with alcohol. We all ignore red flags in situations. We do. I'm trying not to. Does that guitar in the background have lights on it, or is it some bright, sparkly paint? Wait a sec. You see a guitar behind me? What drugs are you doing? Forward look. No, I'm kidding. It's a decoration, and it does have lights on it. Isn't that thing cool? I love that. We picked that up in a little store in can't remember the name of the town, but a small little town. Great store. I've actually picked up a couple of things there. Really cool. Ah, Mad World was a great comedy. Kicked the bucket, didn't he, at the end? Diazepam. So the drug is Valium. Um, are you taking 10 milligrams a day? Are you taking 30 milligrams of whack 3 times a day? What is the dose you're taking, out of curiosity? Wow. Teacher nurse. Holy crap, is that scary? Teacher nurse says, Tommy, I know I showed up late. I was talking to my 12-year-old. He randomly mentioned fentanyl and said, Mom, it's everywhere. Okay. Great. The fact that your kid would come and talk to you, the first thing you do is pump your fist in the air when he's not around because you've done something right. Honest to God. Your kid coming to you with that conversation, well done, right? Obviously, your kid trusts you, and that's beautiful. And what you have to say is, yeah, there's so much of it on the street. Right now, this is a friggin' epidemic. It's also the number one cause of death for men under the age of 50. Number one cause of death, right? So you cannot experiment with drugs anymore. You can't. It just isn't that world, right? It isn't. We took every pill you could. We snorted anything in a powder. Okay, that'll kill you now, right? We don't have a safe drug supply. If you get your weed at a dispensary, God bless you, right? You probably have something that's safe. Anything else, you're rolling the dice. And there are people who are going to go, no one ever died from weed. Yeah. Last year, a bunch of people did from fent weed. You can look it up. I'm not making it up. I wish I was. Right? Blow, tons of people last year overdosed on fent while snorting blow. Lovely, right? But the conversation that you have to have with your kid is, look, you know what? People do experiment, right? And if you make that bad decision, make it out of a pill bottle that has your name on it. That came from a pharmacy, because you cannot take, if you're looking at a Percocet 30, it's fake. Guaranteed, you're not getting a real Perc 30 unless you got it at a US pharmacy in a pill bottle with your name on it. And they really just need to know that drugs are no longer something you can experiment with. I wish that were not the case, because I'm not a guy that really beats the crap out of the abstinence thing, but we don't have a choice anymore, man. We really don't. It is a really cool guitar. Some therapists are waiting for their therapist to walk in. Yeah. You know what? 12 is a great, I'm sorry, but you're never too young to start. Hey, Pajama Pixie, you're never too young to start talking to kids about drugs. I'm sorry, you're not. And people go, it's so hard to bring it up. I don't know. Turn on anything on TV and watch it for 15 minutes. There'll be a drug reference. It's your icebreaker. I'm not kidding. And you think, well, yeah, maybe today. No, always. Right? Footloose. Remember that movie? Think there's any drugs in Footloose? No, right? Yeah, there is. There's drugs. There's always drug references in every film. Put one on. And when the drugs start up, it's a great opportunity for you to talk to your kid. Oh, Cricket, that's great. Trisha Biggs, good to see you. Sorry, I'm checking. You thought I was talking about Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights? Is that the Heathcliff you were making reference to in your classic literature? How's that? Right? Well read? Yeah. Find a Convict. We read a lot. I bet Charlie read that. I mean, I bet Russ read that too. I bet he did. DNV, you're not allowed to do that. I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to take blame for things that you can't take blame for. That blame belongs to someone else. It does not belong to you. It doesn't. You need to journal. You need to talk to us. You need to talk to therapists. You need to talk to whoever you have to, because if you're carrying that shit around in a bag on your back, you're never going to be happy, right? You're going to be bent at the waist forever. You don't really have any right to carry that around. For real. That's a bad situation, but it was brought on by somebody else, not by you. Nothing you did brought that in. Nothing. I promise you. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Nothing. Never heard of Top Cat. Well, if you were born in 83, you wouldn't be. About the same age as my girl. She's an 84 model. So I was talking to somebody who wanted to buy that little motorbike. I rode it up to Dollar General, and someone was asking me if I wanted to sell it. And he goes, "What year is it?" I said, "It's an 80." He goes, "Oh, that's old." I said, "That's not old." So my girl's an 84. Trust me, it's not even close to old. Say, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, good God, right? A 12-year-old? Well, here's the thing. Thank God the 12-year-old is talking, right? Thank God that line of communication is open. And thank God you weren't dumb enough to jump them. You realize there are parents out there that kids will come and go, you know what, Mom, there's drugs at school. Really? Yeah, Kevin had them. If you ever talk to Kevin again, if you lose your shit, if you come unglued the first time your kid talks to you about drugs, the memo says, don't talk to me about drugs. I can't handle it, right? Don't talk to me about it. I'll go crazy. Don't talk to me about it. So now when your child wants to come to you and have a conversation that's important because one of their friends is using this stuff, and maybe there's some help that could happen, your kid has already said, oh no, I can't talk to dad. Right? Dad can't handle it. Can't talk to mom. She loses her shit. And they will find somewhere else to go. And that's sad. You know, SG says maybe people will stop using drugs because of fentanyl. Wouldn't that be lovely? But the science doesn't back that up. Not yet, anyway. Right? We've never seen a dangerous drug supply cause people to stop using drugs. It would be different if the drugs weren't physically if they weren't drugs that people were physically dependent on. Right? Without this stuff, they get viciously sick. It's not just, oh, well, they really want to get high. They're not getting high for real. When you're an opiate addict, you stop getting high super early on in the game. You really do. You know, first couple of years, you know, you still nod out during the day and stuff like that. But then it goes away. It does. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Wow. Same doctor for 25 years. Well, I'm happy you caught the live too. Yeah, Anne from Massachusetts says it's hard to talk about kids. It's hard to talk to kids about drugs, but the alternative could be much worse. Good night, bud. Like my mom said, being an adult means doing all kinds of things that are hard. Yeah, and not a lot of fun, right? Figaro was a cute cat. Rise higher. Dare does not happen anymore. And do you know why? Huh? Uh, Katie did. That's funny. Convicts are the only people I've met that have read the Bible and the Quran. I've read both. You know why? It's the one book they can't take away from you. They have to leave you religious books. We've read all of them. I promise you, most convicts have read all of them. Because you're in the hole, you read the Bible 6 times. You're like, man, you can give me something else? They can't say no to you for religious documents, but they will say no to you for everything else. Dare. The reason that there is no more Dare anymore is because it was a horrific program. It did things like go into school and tell kids that if you smoke weed, you're going to develop breasts, boys. You'll develop female breast tissue. It's called gynecomastia. Now, that can happen, right? It's like 1 in 10 million or 1 in 20 million or something like that. Don't tell kids about a 1 in 20 million shot because they're going to see their friends not get that side effect. Tell kids about the side effects that 100 out of 100 people are going to get. Don't lie to them, right? Or don't tell them we don't need to make drugs worse than they are, I promise. But Dare did that. And they also had a habit of saying, if your parents are on drugs, the best thing that you can do for them would be to call 911 and tell the police, right? Because if not, they're probably going to end up dead. Well, that may be the truth, but no cop's got the right to say that to a kid. That's jacked up. It's a really bad model. And even the government, not known for being the sharpest tools in the shed, saw how bad that was, and they pulled the plug. Dare's not anywhere anymore. A couple of backward towns still run it, but federally, their funding got pulled for good freaking reason. They did a lot of damage. They really did. They did a lot of damage. Hey, Rick Spicer, good to see you. Yes, I am leaving tomorrow. This is just a song before I go. Yeah, Fent is heavy. It really is. It's disgusting stuff. A lesson to be learned. DNV, that's horrific. I'm so sorry. I really am. Nothing could be worse. Really. Yeah, Dare didn't work at all. Neither did Just Say No. Chester Cheetah, not bad. Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. See that? Seriously, executive thinking. Did anyone think, hey, Chester Cheetah's pretty damn cool? You had Dare. See, I was the generation before Dare. We didn't have it. Yeah, ignorance is right. Dare didn't work at all. Someone's message was tagged. I'll be tagging things. Yeah, just say no. Just say no. Biggest thing that could possibly affect your kid's life. 3 syllables ought to take care of it. I think. Right? Did you talk to your kids about drugs? No, I just told them say no. Right? 3 syllables. I could have used more than that. Not being a dick, but I could have used a little more than 3 syllables. Yeah, Rise Higher says we had those cool things that showed you black lungs and people who died in car wrecks, things like blood on the highway. Remember those? I am going to sunny Arizona. I need to go see my doctors and do all of the things that I have to do. And currently, that's getting a little bit more important. So I got to go and see my doctors and take care of some business, actual business. Uh, Hold on one second. His 16-year-old sis tells me so much. Wow. I hope that he grows into that as well. Keep those open. Metho, I don't know what that last one is, Rise Higher. I'm familiar with ashwagandha. Yeah, I don't know what that last one is, though. I've never heard of that. Methylcobalamin, yeah, I've never heard of that. That always bums me out. If you can send me a link or an email about that, I'd be very interested. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Yeah. Um, that was pretty good. It was spoofed a little bit, too much, but um, yes, I will enjoy the swimming pool. Question: what approach could an adult in your life have taken that may have changed your drug decisions, Tommy? That's a really great question. And here's the thing: it might lead you to believe that I've not thought about this, right? And I'm on my heels. The truth is, I've written about this, I've journaled about this. I have spent so much time trying to answer this question, and I think what it comes down to, uh, it's it's pretty fascinating, honestly. Yeah, I don't even know if I have it. This is an entire show. If I start doing this, uh, here's what it comes down to, right? I don't think that there could have been an intervention, that drug related stuff that would have stopped me from becoming what I was going to become once that got lit, right? Once at, 13, 14 or whatever, when I smoked the first joint, from that point forward, it was the shit hit the fan. There was no way it was going to stop. Now, what needed to happen had nothing to do with drugs. It had nothing to do it had to do with education. There were some people that could have that probably could have intervened on behalf of me in a special education kind of a way, right? Um, I really needed somebody to step in and say, "Oh, you learn differently. You're not stupid." That would have gone a really long way into turning me. And it's probably funny, right? Because you guys see me come and talk, right? And then everybody says beautiful things to me. You're a really smart guy. Tell me, well. I was really convinced for a very long time that I was anything but smart, right? Um, yeah, it's just it's one of those things. I had a learning disability that didn't get diagnosed, and it really would have been lovely if it did. Unfortunately, they concentrated on a different part of my brain that seemed to be really a lot more interesting. Parlor tricks that I could do with memorization seemed to be a cool thing, but it is what it is. People, I'm going to pull the plug on this, and the reason is, um, I am going to I'm going to have to rise tomorrow morning about the time the sun comes up, and I normally can I can sleep in a little bit normally, and that's not the case. And since I haven't slept in 2 days, I really do not want to be in an airport without sleeping. Yeah, 1 hour of sleep in 2 days is just not good. Don't use Yeah, well, I'm going to look it up. Hold on one second. You know what? Reese is incredibly smart. You're right, Cricket. You're right. But I think that I'm making headway. And today we were watching some. She doesn't watch YouTube, right? She doesn't watch YouTube, and we just happened to be watching. I was watching something, and I talked her into looking at it, and we talked to about a few issues. And I think when it was done, she said was feeling better about herself, and I think that that's starting to happen more and more, and I hope that that continues, because damn it, she's worth it. All right, people, I'm Tommy. The next time I see you, I will be probably in an airport. Nothing new, right? And I'll take all the ones you can get that I get some sleep tonight. And with any luck, that the one child on the on the airplane that's crying will not be in the seat next to me. Right? Thank you, everybody, for always being kind to me, even when I don't deserve it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. Bye-bye.